All right, here I have the new Land Rover Defender for the week, 7 days with this car. I drove it at the launch a couple of months ago out in the Blue Mountains, and I'm so excited to drive this for the next 7 days. I'm going to show you day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way up to day 7 of living with this car. Everything I love, everything I don't love. I love, from first glance, I love the spec of this car. I specifically requested the Tasman Blue here with the white top. I think it looks fantastic in the flesh, and don't knock it till you try it, and don't go for something boring like a black or a white, although they do look good. This is the Land Rover Defender P400 SE, so it's a mid-range spec, top-range engine. It's priced as tested around the $127,000 mark, so it's still pretty punchy. It's got more or less all the bells and whistles you want. There are a couple of things I will add, which I'll tell you about in a second. From first glance, the interior is nice. It's got the black interior here, 3 seats in the back with a bit of a white trim, and also a white trim here on the steering wheel, but it does not have a sunroof. And the fixed panoramic roof, which you can see sort of the outline in there for it, is, I thought, one of the best features of a lot of, well, any new cars really these days. As well, given the fact that it's got a blue body on it and a white top, it doesn't have a blacked out front here. So, you know, if I was to buy this car, I'd probably either get the front blacked out, or I would go for a black Santorini black body paint. Though I do like these matte black finishes here, which are quite nice. And black wheel arches as well. These have got some big tires on it, this bad boy, and it's got a spare one at the back here too. I think the back looks fantastic. It really does. This has to be, I just drove this from Concord JLR, where I picked it up, to down to Woollahra here, where I live, and would have to say this is the biggest car I've ever driven on the roads, especially in the eastern suburbs. It is so big. So big. It's even bigger than the Disco, which I drove a couple of years ago, and the Ford Ranger Raptor. It feels bigger, it feels taller. It's got to be the tallest and biggest car on the road. I'm going to have a real tough time trying to park this later on tonight after I get back from dinner. But basically, over the next 7 days, I'm going to take you through 7 days living with this car, 7 days living with the Land Rover Defender. Any questions, feel free to hit me in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Obviously, I'm lucky enough to have this car for 7 days, which if you're going to buy it, you probably won't have that luxury. But if I can help you make a decision on this car, and from first impressions, I absolutely love it, then I've done my job right. So stay tuned. All right, day 2 with the new Land Rover Defender. It is a yucky day here in Sydney, so I'm going to get inside quick smart. Ooh. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to drive it today, which is very frustrating. I was at the office all day. It's just another yucky spring day in Sydney. So I'm about to drive home. It's wet as hell outside. So it'll be really interesting to see how this car handles in the wet. It's big, it's heavy, it's cumbersome in a lot of ways, but the P400 petrol engine in this car doing, you know, upwards of 290 kilowatts. Actually, I found yesterday was quite towy. It was quite impressive, but is it too towy for Sydney roads in the wet? A couple of quick features which I've loved so far on this car. The clear sight rear view mirror. So this is actually standard, which is amazing for JLR, because JLR don't do a lot of things standard these days. But this clear sight rear view mirror essentially is just a camera. I'll show you some B-roll of that now, that uses the camera on the very back of the car, which I'll show you that as well, to basically just look out the back. It can see everything. We're nice and high up here, so you can see pretty much into the back of someone else's car, which is very cool. You can change the brightness, you can change a whole bunch of things, and you can just flip it back and it goes back to a normal rear view mirror. But to be honest, especially if someone was sitting in the middle seat there, that back one there, I wouldn't be able to see shit out of the back of this car. There's a big fat wheel on the back of the car as well, which is taking up some of it too. So given how high up we are as a car, you really can't see much behind you, especially if the car behind you is like a low riding sedan, and it's quite close to your backside. So this is a fantastic feature, and I think it should be standard on all JLR cars in the future. And I've really enjoyed using that feature, especially at night. Actually, at night, it sort of acts like a night vision camera, which is just bizarre. Like, I can see into the cabin, into the passengers and the driver's seats of the cars behind me. Other than that, I haven't spent a lot of time in the car. The missus loved it. It's nice and high. You feel safe, you feel boxy. How high is it going to be though? That's going to be the question. I've got to get this car into my garage later tonight, which I'm pretty sure is only just a touch over 2 meters. So whether this car is actually going to fit in my garage or not, that'll be a question for when I get home, but let's crack on. All right, I've just pulled up outside my place, and This is what I have to work with. I don't think this car is going to fit in my garage. All right, day 2 done. All right, day number 3 with the new D. And there's another shocker today. Why is it so shit in Sydney right now after 2 months of sun? Anyway, of course, it's gonna be the week that I have the new Defender. So I figured out that the height of this car on paper is 1,967 millimeters. So theoretically, if it's a 2 meter high car park, I should have 3.3 centimeter clearance. I didn't want to test it this morning when I went down to the gym, so I just decided not to go into the garage, but the garage at work will be interesting. It's a no from me, dog. It's just that little shark fin, that little tail thing on the back, which is the rear view clear sight camera. That's what's stopping me. That's what's making me hesitant. Not the actual height of the roof, just that little camera. Like, that's protruding out quite high, and if they knock that off, then yeah, it's a couple of grand gone. So anyway, day number 3 in sunny Sydney. I might be in luck here. Maximum clearance 3 meters. Yeah, the boys. I think this should work. It looks good, doesn't it? It looks really good. All right, James, you went to the launch. Well, not the launch. You drove a couple of the last Land Rover Defenders of the old series to ever be made a couple of years ago. Yeah. And now you're about to see the new Defender for the first time.
I drove the Works Defender, which had that V8 in it, which was insane.
I also have a spec sheet for us here as well, which I printed out today, so we can have a little look at what exactly it is we're dealing with. And here it is.
Here it is. I haven't been in one yet.
You haven't?
No. Wow. That's cool. I like the spec for sure.
Do you like the colour?
Yeah, I do.
I requested this colour.
It's like steely blue.
White top, yes or no?
Yeah, I like it, but the problem with a white top is you just have to clean so much. So much. Especially if you're parking it outside. I can't imagine a lot of people are parking it outside, but
well, I had to. I had no choice in that.
Tasman blue metallic paint, white contrast roof, 2K.
So the 2K contrast roof is more expensive than the 1950 Tasman blue paint.
That just doesn't make sense.
That's more expensive than that.
That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's also got a heap of, look at the money on here for the climate control.
Heated third row seats, 3,393.
I mean, if you're in the third row, which I don't even know what they mean by that.
You're in the back seat.
There's no back seats in here.
Aren't there?
Oh, maybe there are under there. Do you reckon? Do you reckon it's under there?
Yeah, looks like it.
No, it looks like a... Oh, yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so there are more seats under the back there.
And
so they're heated. And
wow.
That's going to cost you $3.5 grand or whatever it is.
3,393.
Is that necessary?
60/40 load through climate, rear seats with manual slide and recline and center armrest, 2,000. Does this come with everything? I haven't been in the car. This is not. I don't care for this at all.
This here, these sort of
the faux checker plating
guards on the front here as well.
Yeah.
What are they, like $900 or something?
Are they? Can you spec it without this faux checker plating?
Yeah. You can even do it without this as well. You don't need these wheel arches.
Yeah, I wouldn't spec that.
No?
Yeah, nice. I like it. It's cool.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I spent an absolute nightmare of an afternoon trying to park this thing. Because it doesn't fit in my garage, I literally spent probably half an hour yesterday afternoon on Friday afternoon trying to park this car somewhere in Manly. Didn't work out. I couldn't find it anywhere. All the spots were too small. I had to come all the way up to Fairlight to park the car. So look, I know this isn't the only big car on the road. I know Discos are big. I know Land Cruisers are big. But this is what happens when you own a big car. It's just not exactly perfect for the city. But, you know, day 4 with this car. Let's see what the weekend brings. Should be a good one. All right, day 5, good morning. So not only are these back seats like a $3,000 and a bit option, but they've also got their own climate control on the sides. They're heated as well at the back, which is probably a bit unnecessary given how often you use them. I actually quite like this skylight up the top here. That's cool, so it gives everyone a little bit more light, especially if you don't have a moon roof. And yeah, look, it's going to be a tight squeeze, but Hopefully only one of the boys ends up in the back. And you got cup holders too, so there's plenty going on. I'm not sure what that there is for. Big day today. We're gonna head out west. We're gonna go paintballing and go-karting at London Raceway. Now, I wonder if these can come back any further. It doesn't look like it. All right, that is going to be a tight squeeze for the fellas, but we'll make it work. All right, I think it's a win. A little bit of storage in there, which is nice. Yeah, boys. Big day ahead. Bit of a convoy. The old disco and the new D. Let's do it. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, boys. Yeah, boys. All right, let's do it. Pole position for Johnny Mac right there.
Oh, yeah, Tuck. Last place.
36.85.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Who got last place?
Tuck.
Tuck.
Last place.
How fun was that? So good. It's always a good time. Straight onto the paintball. Boys, half-time update. How you doing there, Jimbo?
Few cuts.
I think Tucky's going to be the worst off here.
That's pretty juicy.
That's juicy. All right, day 6. Not much going on today compared to the weekend, so I'm just going to keep it simple. One thing I've been really impressed about so far is the Defender's fuel efficiency. Now have a look at that. We're at just less than full tank, and I've driven it for the last 6 days, every day, non-stop, here to the Manly, to the city, back to my girlfriend's place, out west. And it's a turbo 6-cylinder petrol engine, and it's doing some pretty good numbers fuel efficiency wise, considering it's a lot of city driving. So well done to the Defender. All right, 7 days with the new Defender. My time has come to an end. I'm dropping it back tomorrow morning. A couple of parting words. I mean, wow, this car is just so capable. It's sprightly, it's spacious, it's seductive, it turns heads, it has such a commanding road presence. It has to be one of the biggest cars on the road. It will go anywhere and do anything pretty much, except for maybe obviously going in car parks less than 2 meters in height. But other than that, I've really enjoyed my time with this car. I can tell you right now, these things will sell like hotcakes. They are already selling like hotcakes. Land Rover have almost done a job on themselves here. I don't think anyone's going to bother buying a disco anymore. I mean, this is pretty much the whole package. A lot of people have been sort of asking and questioning the price tags. I think they're immediately comparing it to the old Defender, and that's not fair because this is a completely new car. I think it is worth the money. There are a lot of options on this car which I probably wouldn't have, and there are some that I definitely would. But you can get the P400 SE, and that's all you need, I think, in my opinion, and maybe about 10 grand worth of options, and that should pretty much do the trick. If this car suits your lifestyle, even if you are in the city, preferably if you're in suburbia or in the country, this thing is an absolute beast and it's all you'd ever need. If you're in the city and it can suit your lifestyle and you've mapped it out and it works with your place of work and also your home as well, yeah, I mean, it's a big car for sure. But I mean, I can think of a lot of worse cars to spend every day than this thing. So a couple of quick shout outs. The infotainment system has been absolutely amazing. This thing is brand new from JLR for this car. Much needed refresh, and they've nailed it. It's worked every single time flawlessly for me. No complaints there at all. The clear side mirror is just a game changer, an absolute game changer. So there's nothing more I can say about that really. I think I've said enough. The space in this car, I mean, if you didn't have enough space in this car, then what are you doing with your life? Because it has all the room available for you. Back seats or no back seats. But I would probably get, actually another option I didn't mention, I would probably get this thing optioned as a fridge because, you know, it's Aussie summer, you're going to need it eventually. This Defender was so important and so polarizing to so many people because it is the biggest thing that Land Rover has ever done. And I think they pulled it off. So go check out the new Land Rover Defender, wherever you go to your dealership, whatever, go book a test drive. And hopefully my 7 days has shed some more light into what it's like to live with the new D.